Is there anything coming out at E3 this year that hasn't already been spoiled? Like, is there anything that we still don't know about that someone hasn't posted on their LinkedIn account? Because Injustice 2 just got rumored about like maybe 3-4 days ago, and in the amount of time that it took for them to put the number 2 up there just as a very big, oh, what could this possibly mean? Someone already came in and went, oh yeah, it's Injustice 2, we got the scoop on, and here's all the information about. Like, this just dropped. I had no idea what was even happening. I didn't even know it was a possibility. Like, I thought we were done with Injustice. It was a great game. I absolutely loved it. I had a ton of fun with that. I thought it had great fighting mechanics. The sets were amazing, and I really dug how they interpreted each of these characters' fighting styles and each of their powers into this game. However, I thought it was done. I thought it was a one and done, that was it. But no. We now have Injustice 2, and the trailer for it just came out today. I watched it, and I gotta say, I'm pretty excited for this thing. Okay, before we actually start talking about this trailer, let me just say, shoutouts to NetherRealm Studios, because most companies, if they have something planned for E3, but then someone scoops them before that, they deny it, and they're like, oh, I've never heard of any of this. I don't know what they're talking about. NetherRealm Studios was going to announce this at E3, someone scooped them on, and then they were like, oh, so you figured out what we're doing? Okay, here's the trailer ahead of time. Way to go, guys. Way to get ahead of that. Alright, not bad. Not bad. But okay, let's get into this actual trailer. It starts off with Flash fighting Superman in what looks like the set from Fight Club. And Superman is beating up the Flash, and then all of a sudden, the Flash's armor just kicks in. And this is the first thing that I gotta talk about with this. It's that in Injustice, I really dug that game. I just listed off many reasons why I like that game, but one thing that I did have a problem with was the character designs. If you guys have watched me talk about comic books, and especially the New 52, then you know that I have a big problem with making every character's suit look like armor. I have a problem with tons of lines all over the place, making it all look metallic. Not every character needs that. Sure, there's some characters that works for it, but when you do it with everybody, it just kind of looks silly. And in Injustice, they went so overboard with that metallic look, it just looked crazy to me. Like, Superman had a giant, like, just metallic arrow just pointing down his waist. And the Flash had so much armor on him, I looked at him like, there's no way you could run in that. There's no way, like, your joints can't move in that suit you just made for yourself. It's crazy. And in this one, it looks like the armor is actually going to play a part of the game. The armor is going to be huge. It's going to be featured so much more. And because of that, I am excited. I know you might be confused because didn't you just say that you had a problem with the armor in the last game? Yeah, as a design choice, but if you want to put it in there as a gameplay mechanic, well then it serves a point. Then there's an actual reason for them to have that. And based on the interview that came out with this trailer, it does look like this armor will be serving a point for both the story and for the gameplay, not just for cosmetic reasons. They said that as you play through this game, you are going to be able to unlock loot whenever you reach a certain level. Someone's been playing Overwatch. God, I wish I was playing Overwatch right now. But anyway, it looks like as you level up, you're going to get loot, and you're going to be able to use that loot to customize your character, and you're going to be able to add armor onto them, and that armor will both buff your character and make them look different. They say that they want, at the end of this game, when you go in there with your fully customized character, that character will not look like any other character. That character, your Batman, will not look like someone else's Batman because you have both built them to be completely different. And I'm sure that will be true until someone out there posts online the perfect build for each character, and then everybody just tries to obtain that. Yeah, I play fighting games online. I know how this works. Now, I will say that on one really geeky, whiny baby level that this has me a little bit concerned is that I really enjoy the costumes that the NetherRealm Studio games give us. Like in each Mortal Kombat game, they give you tons of free costumes. It's like, that's awesome. I've always loved that about those games. So it looks like in this one, they're not gonna do that. Instead, you have to actually build your own costume. And I'll admit, I did have that moment. It's like, oh, but I like the costumes you give us. But when you look at this trailer and look at how these costumes adapt and how they change, it does actually make me think, oh shoot. Does this mean that you could actually build costumes that are more customized and more unique than any of the costumes that you have given us in the past? That could actually be really cool. Like, look at Batman. Batman is a perfect example. When he starts fighting against Superman, his costume glows green, so I was like, okay, so you can build like a kryptonite suit for Batman. But then when they all charge in there at the end, he gets like a red mask on his face, and like the bat symbol turns red. It's like, so you can also make like a red hood outfit for yourself? Also, they have said that this is still going to take place in the Injustice alternate universe. So what if like Jason Todd is actually the Batman in this Injustice universe? Now, that's a really weird far out there theory, but that did look very Red Hood inspired there at the end. But getting back to what I was talking about, I joke that these guys have been playing a lot of Overwatch, but one of the things I love in Overwatch is that each character has a specific need, and that character can be countered by another character whose powers are made to perfectly go against that character's powers. And when I was watching this trailer, I found it very interesting that when Batman started going up against Superman, he did get that green glow to him. So like, does this mean that you're going to actually be able to build suits that are made to counter other characters? Because it does look like Batman designed for himself a kryptonite suit to go up against Superman. But then at the end, he gets a brand new looking suit. So it's like, alright, does that mean that he can then change for when he goes up against a different character? I don't know how I would feel about that. Because in a game like Overwatch, it's like, great, because characters can change throughout the course of the battle. But if you have to prep for this going into a match, I don't know if I'm going to build my perfect anti-Superman suit for Batman just in case I end up going up against Superman. Because then what happens if you don't go up against Superman? And then if you do end up going up against Superman, well then that seems kind of unfair to Superman if you made a suit specifically designed to counter him. Unless Superman can then design for himself a suit specifically made to counter that Batman anti-Superman suit. This is really complex for something that we know nothing about, but these are the impressions that I got from that trailer. I think that could be really cool if they do it right. Also, I very briefly mentioned it, but this will be set in the Injustice universe that they created in the last game, which has me... I don't know how I feel about that, in all honesty, because for anybody who follows comics, you know that there has been an Injustice comic over the past couple of years, ever since that first game came out, and that Injustice comic follows the origin of this Injustice universe, and here's my big problem with the idea of returning to that Injustice universe. It's that if you follow that comic, which is supposed to be canon, Superman's pretty much taken everyone out. Pretty much all the heroes and villains that you saw in the Injustice game, that's all that was left. So it has me a little bit concerned because I'm like, who are you going to put in this game? Unless of course they're just going to completely ignore that comic. And in all honesty, video games make way more money than comics. I wouldn't exactly blame them if they decide, I'm not going to change what my vision was just because you made a comic about it. Although it would seem kind of like a big screw you to all the people who have been buying the Injustice comic, so I apologize to you guys for that. But alright, let's get into the last big reveal from this trailer, which is the characters. We saw Superman, Batman, Flash, and Aquaman all fighting, and then there's the big reveal of the new character, Supergirl. She is the first new character to be revealed, and as far as I know, she didn't appear in the Injustice comic, so as far as I know, they're still safe. They haven't really broken that continuity yet, but as I said, I would rather they just make a really cool DC fighting game featuring a lot of characters than worrying about breaking the continuity of the comic. Yes, Supergirl will be in this game, but she's not the only one. It was also leaked that Gorilla Grodd and Atrocitus, the leader of the Red Lanterns, will be in there. I think it's awesome that they're including some of the other Lantern Corps. Those guys have so many awesome characters in there, and it's one of the few new additions to the DC universe that has made people who weren't even big comic book fans go, oh, what's this? That's actually kind of interesting. So it's great to see that DC is trying to put them in other things than just their comics. So I think it would be awesome if we got to see the entire Lantern Corps in there. Not just the Red Lanterns, although Dexter, the Red Lantern Cat, would be a great addition, but I want to see Larfleeze, I want to see the Star Sapphires, I want to see Indigo 1 popping up in this. Saint Walker would be awesome. In a game where everyone is just super pissed off and super angry and dark and dreary, I would love to see Saint Walker just come down and be like, everybody just be cool. Just be cool, baby. Everything's gonna be alright. That's his special move. He just chills you the fudge out, okay? He just makes you go, why am I doing this? Everything's fine. Everything's fine. I'm just gonna go home. They just give up. That's his special power. Now, one last thing before we go. Let's get in one quick character speculation. I just want to put it out there. During this trailer, our mysterious narrator says, every time I enter the pit, I emerge reborn. Ra's al Ghul, right? We're all in agreement. It's Ra's al Ghul who's the announcer here. Ra's al Ghul is definitely going to be the big bad guy in this game. We're all in agreement on this, right? Alright, cool, I just wanted to check. But alright, let me know in the comments down below what you thought about this Injustice teaser trailer. What do you want to see in the upcoming Injustice game? And also, if you want to see more geeky stuff from me, including stuff from comic books and video games, or comic book video games like Injustice, then make sure that you hit that subscribe button. We cover geeky stuff every single week on this channel. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you guys right now, coming up within the next week, I'm going to make a top 10 video about the characters that I want to see in Injustice 2. So if you want to see that, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you want to see some more stuff from me right now, I have some videos at the end of this that you can click on. But for now, thank you guys very much. Come back next time.